Let's get back into it, alright? You all know the drill. You all know the drill. It's that time once again. Sunday. Sunday night. Last day of the weekend for the first day of the week. Monday. Alrighty. I see the redeems are gonna go. So I was like, I was just waiting on it. Alright, let's do some roll call. Thank you, Will, for the redeems. Welcome on in. How are you doing? Illusion with the first today. Congratulations. Thank you so much for redeeming the first. You are the first redeemer of... what is today? Yeah. Anyways, my brain melted down for a second. Anyways, congratulations on the first. You are the first redeemer of today's stream. Man, my brain's kind of half asleep. I've been playing just a little too much Palball lately, so... You know how that is. I can't stop playing that damn game. It's a good game. It's a good game, though. How are you doing, Elu? Welcome in, Ashy. How are you doing today? How are you doing tonight? Did you have a good night last night? Did you sleep well? Did you get some sweet dreams? You weren't too hungry, were you? Did you get some good food when you woke up? Welcome in, Pancake. How have you been and how was your weekend? Big Mac, rah rah rah, danandu. How are you doing, Mackies? How are you doing, Big Mac? Lights that look like the Northern Lights? Oh. What were those ones again? I kind of forget. Oh no, is my little fox kind of sleepy tonight? Aw, well, get ready to wind down just a little bit. Relax and soothe on in. That's what we do on Sundays, Just a little bit of quiet ASMR and stuff like that. And, it's a way for all of us to wind down, to relax, including myself. Welcome in, Toon Cat. How are you doing, Toon Kitty? How have you been doing lately? Welcome on in. Did you have fun on VR chat last night? I was kind of up and about, so I didn't get to see you all too much, but I did get to see you join just a little bit. How are you doing? Oh, the Aurora Borealis. Right, that one. Okay. I got you now. Okay. Give me one moment. Always gotta start off with, cleaning the throat just a little bit. I always forget, the start of the ASMR streams, the first 20 minutes is always, a bit of a warm-up. That frog always gets stuck in my throat somehow. I don't know how, but yeah. It'll find its way on out shortly, Welcome in, Caribou. How are you doing today? You doing okay? Did you have a fun weekend? What have you been up to? Goes nicely? Was fun? Does it get nervous, all the new people? Yeah. There tends to be a lot more people around, so sometimes we split up, sometimes we're here, sometimes we're there. But man, there's always something different happening every Saturday. But they're fun. They are a lot of fun, Your dad? Aw. Were you able to get some sleep? Because I know you went to take a nappy earlier. Illusion, did you get to take a nap? Or was it you didn't get to sleep much? Or are you still playing Pal World? How are you doing? Doing good? You've been gaming? Marvel Spider-Man and console? How's that one been? I've not played a Spider-Man game since the NES. That was a weird game. It was a hard game. I don't think I ever beat that game, but yeah. Good old throat warm-ups. Thank you for the hydrate, Gunther. Hello, Aaron. Be with you in just a second. Thank you for the hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate. I see my bean. How are you holding up? Did you get to sleep well last night? Did you get to calm down everything? Did you get to relax, wind down, and have some sweet dreams? It's good to see you. It's good to see all of you. Oh man, I'll be honest. I'm definitely kind of like slow brain today. Smooth brain, tired. Way too much like Power World, but I meant to only be on like VR chat for like 4 hours last night and ended up being on for like almost 8. There was just way too much going on. I feel like, I don't know, you gotta live for the moment. So, I made up for staying up late by cutting a little bit of sleep. But hopefully if I sleep early enough today, then I'll be right back on track. But yeah, last night was nice. It was nice. Like, man, a lot of things happened. A lot of different things. It was like several different mini episodes all at once. But it was also interesting. There's so many people at the beginning. Like after the first 2 hours I had to leave to another world just for my social battery to like not drain so fast, I guess, something like that. I like to be around people, but I don't like to be like around too many people all at once. Once there's way too many people, I'm just kind of like panicky. But yeah, it was good. It was calm. I had fun. You want to go back to sleep? I feel that, Aaron. I feel that. I do feel the EP right now. I feel the EP right now, but that's okay. Cause hey, this is a chance not just for me to wind down, but for y'all to help. Like, you know, I said that backwards, didn't I? God damn it. I meant to say to help y'all wind down. And at the same time, it helps me wind down too. Of course, the first 30 minutes are always a bit rough. Cause, my throat always has to, like, warm up into ASMR mode. He's gotta figure out, like, what exactly do I want to do? Hello, colors. Hello. 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 Welcome in. How are you doing tonight? Now, I kind of forgot like about announcements and whatnot, but I don't think there's like all that many announcements tonight. Other than if you missed it on, it was either last stream or the stream before. But we're actually going to be doing 2 ASMR streams a week now. Starting on Monday, I will be doing Sunday, Monday ASMR. One Sunday ASMR is like just the way to like relax, wind down, and just take it easy. Fun weekends, long weekends, and depending on what you do on Saturday nights, you're probably sleepy, and you're probably just looking for somewhere to relax, something to listen to, something to lay down. You know, whether right next to you, whether it's in your eardrum with like an earbud or an earplug or whatever it is. Or if you had like some sort of like fancy ASMR pillow speaker or whatever, you know. We've all got a way to get sound. We've all got a way to get sound somewhere. But hey, I do what I can to like make that sound for y'all guys. I'm sorry if like I'm slow to like make sentences and stuff. Like my brain it definitely fills the EP. But, like, you know, I think EP ASMR isn't that bad as well. You know? ASMR pillow speaker. Someone sent me that idea to a marketing team. I mean, if you think about it, it just it have to be like some sort of Bluetooth technology, I bet. You'd have to have like the right speaker, the left speaker all programmed, and I guess the real risk is fire hazard maybe. Oh wow, Ashley, you got to work really quickly on your little avatar down there. I know they don't have true orange for the ears. Hey, but hey, that's definitely Ashy Blonde right there. That's definitely Ashy Hoodie right there. Ashy knee socks right there, and ashy thighs right there. You know? But yeah. So Monday, the reason I went with Monday was because, well, we always need Sunday to wind down before the start of the week. And for a lot of people, Monday's the start of the week. It's the first day back at work. And it's usually not the best. Usually not the funnest. So I was like, well, not only do we need to wind down and relax on Sunday nights, we also need to wind down and relax on Monday nights. So, that's my reasoning behind it. But it's also a good chance to practice two different genres. We do like sleepy pillow talk, experiment Sunday, and then Monday is going to be more of like a positive reaffirmation kind of thing. Or like, you know, a way to like celebrate getting through the first day of the week and patting you on the back for the rest of the week or something like that. Good old allergies, man. Let me clear my throat real quickly. Okay. So, while we're still like in the chatty mode and whatnot, you guys feel free to. I think that frog's gonna be like stuck in my throat for like another 15 minutes. Or I can just try to talk outwards. But it's like, man, my throat's so rough tonight. I blame the allergies. I blame the fucking allergies, man. That's definitely what it is. But anyways, what did you all do this weekend? How did you spend either your Friday or your Saturday? How did you spend your Sunday? Daytime, of course. And are you looking forward to the start of the week? I don't know how we're gonna like use it and whatnot, or where it might show up to be like good and stuff like that. But if there's one thing I had in mind, which is like, well, what if we take those little bells that I got for the collar and like put them right next to the mic? Well, not on the mic, but like on the mic stand, and you know, where are they? They're somewhere. Yeah, they're right there. They're hard to see, but hey, I can find them if I need to. So, I'll figure out something with that. It'll definitely be for like more story stuff. Cause I guess like the idea behind it is so they don't like do like footsteps or like distance, like if we do like scripts and stuff in the future again, then we can just treat it as a, let's just say a leash. So I can tell like when you're going here, when you're going there, and if I need to be like, okay, follow me, like I can just like jingle the sound to be like you're following me or going somewhere or something like that. That's just an idea that I had. So, if nobody's got too much for conversation tonight, and don't worry, I don't blame you at all. Especially if you're like some of us, the little Belmont addictions. Some of us might have clocked over 24 hours into the game already. And the game just came out on a Thursday night. So like, it's only been out for what, 72 hours? Yeah, I think our brains are all a little tuckered out and stuff like that. So, tonight, I might do something a little more simple. First things first, I actually don't like this Luffy playing because there's too many voices. I honestly just want some quiet rain sounds. That way it doesn't get too distracting. Yeah, I just want a little bit like white noise and stuff like that. All the like whoa 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 kind of sounds are just kind of like you know, I didn't really vibe with it. Then again, you guys are here for like my voice and whatnot. You're not really here for the sounds of the YouTube lo-fi stuff and whatnot, yeah. So tonight, here's the experiment. While my brain has enough energy for it, I might try to do some like light pillow talk kind of chat, as well as read anything that you all want to talk about or mention and stuff like that. And when my brain is like too smooth and whatnot, the other idea was, what if we do something simple tonight? While I might not be the most complex person, I do think that like conversation in general, like just topics and stuff like that, are kind of like, what's the word? Always in nature a little bit complex. So, how about I do something rare? Something different. Something very, very simple. Also, I apologize if you hear like other sounds in the background. My sister has a case of hypersonic voice. Or not my sister, my sister's kid. And her voice can be heard on the other side of the planet. And for whatever reason, my sister ditched her because she wanted to go shopping. And I don't know if she's coming back till tomorrow. So, when she's there, my mom's trying to match her voice for some reason because I think she's losing her hearing. Then again, I think my dad is too, but they're basically screaming at each other and that's how they communicate. And I'm just like, I got the door shut, I got a towel under it, I have the soundproofing blanket nearby, the acoustic foam throughout the room. And, you know, I'm trying to do everything that I can to make sure there's not too much sound bleeding in and whatnot. Also, I must have missed them, but thank you for the head pats. Toon Kitty, thank you for the head pats. Also, I got distracted. When I said, simple, I probably, like, I didn't have this idea until, like, started stream, so I couldn't have, like, made it an announcement and whatnot. What if we count sheep? Or, if that feels a little too weird, what if we count foxes? But I think sheep just comes off the tongue easier. So, I might do a mix of the two. I'll try not to lose count. I need just a little bit of hydration. And I got an important DM, but I'll take a look at that during the ad break. Right now, it's my time with you guys. So, how about we start off with counting? And then if I come up with an idea, then we can do the pillow talk. So, when's the last time y'all counted sheep? Everybody got all quiet and stuff. I see you're all tuckered out. Head against the pillow. Ear pod in one ear, Or both if you sleep on your back. And you're just waiting for me to say stuff. You're just waiting for me to whisper and put you to sleep. Don't worry, I'd be doing the same thing if I was you. Dead tired after playing 18 hours of Battle World. Not sleeping the night before. And then getting up after like 2 hours to go and play more. Yeah, trust me. I'd be laying against the pillow too and listening in. So, don't worry about me too much. I've got my eyes on you. You guys take care of me plenty during the week. And when it's Sunday, it's my turn to take care of you. After all, you're the one listening in right now. So, Ryan, thank you for the headphones. I see that. I need to move my other window over so I can see the redeems go off. And there we go. So, well, let's see. How many sheep will it take you to pass out? To all of you listening in, you don't have to reach for the keyboard. And it's okay if you don't even remember to tell me later. But if you do fall asleep before you turn everything off tonight, try to remember the last number of sheep that I get to before you drift into a slumber. I see you, Ryan. Head pat. 69, that'd be a funny number. That'd be a nice number. Alrighty. Let's do a little bit of counting first, and then we'll get back to some pillow talk. Because I think I just did mostly pillow talk and stuff so far, so here we go. 1 sheep. 2 sheep. 3 sheep. 4 sheep. 5 sheep. 6 sheep. 7 sheep. 8 sheep. 9 sheep. 10. Okay. We made it to 10. That was probably the easiest test. I didn't lose anybody just yet, did I? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But hey, if some of you are a fighter, maybe not take it as a challenge. Except I totally would, trust me, I 100% would. But I mean, you know, you do you. It's meant to relax, not to get you, adrenaline or something like that, you know. But yeah. 11 sheep. 12 sheep. 13 sheep. 14 sheep. 15 sheep. 15 sheep. 16 sheep. 17 sheep. 18 sheep. 19 sheep. 19 20 sheep. I didn't lose you just yet, did I? I had to throw in a curveball real quickly. You know, it wouldn't be me if I didn't throw in a curveball every now and then. I guess that means you're gonna have to, like, be prepared at some point if I go backwards on you. anything to hand out as a prize or anything. But hey, if you manage to catch me going backwards, maybe I'll just give you a bit of praise for being here and whatnot. I'll personally give you a headband and whatnot. However, those of you laying down and sleeping and whatnot, I can do this again later. Don't need to get your keyboards out and whatnot. I got plenty of time for each and every one of you. But I figured I'd give a little bit of a bonus to anybody that's actually like at the keyboard and whatnot. Just looking to like relax, listen in, and not like get ready to fall asleep and stuff like that. Yeah. 96. Did you know that 96 squared and 69 cubed have all the digits 0 through 9 exactly once between them? And it's the only number to have this property. Interesting. I didn't know that. But I could probably see that. Because I do know that if 9 is times 9, then the very first or the very last number is gotta be a 1. I don't know what like 69 squared is, but I do know that the number is probably gonna end in 1. And likewise, 69 cubed will probably end in a 9. However, now I need to look that up. Just because I'm a nerd. Okay, 69 squared is 4,761. I was right. And if we do 69 cubed, it is 328,509. And like I said, it ends in a 9. I don't know It's just that's where their thing happens to line up. So I gave them the A-OK, and they're gonna keep working, no corrections needed. You know? But hey, man, we got the 20 sheep, so how about this? Every 20, we'll take a bit of a break and see if I can come up with something else to talk about for a little while. Maybe just pillow talk, talk about random things, or just anything else that people want to talk about and stuff. Let me get some water real quickly. Well, I was looking at today's day, and I guess it's an odd day as well. You know? The 21st. 3 days away from the 24th. So we're like 1 month and some change away from our upcoming anniversary. I'm still a little, like, I guess, nervous and scared of the date coming up, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to it, because I know it's going to be fun. We got a lot to, like, show off and share, all sorts of fun activities and goals, and a lot of memories to go back through and stuff like that. It's hard to believe it'll have been like 2 years though. It's kind of crazy. Definitely kind of crazy. But hey, when it gets here, it gets here. And I'll try to make it as fun as possible. I don't think we'll be able to beat last year's goal. Not last year's like goal, but like I think we went for like 2 weeks or something. So as long as I can, I think the plan is to like make 1 solid week of content, and then like a backup week of content, and we should be good to go, I think. I honestly don't know how much to plan for, but hey, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out some fun plans and stuff. And even if things don't work out, instead of planning like an extra week of content or things like that, rather than a plan like B or C, I just need to like start planning what would I be doing after it ends anyways, and be ready to start that sooner or later. And I have a feeling a lot of that will, depending on what happens, be a lot more focused on ASMR or voice acting stuff, like more visual novels and stuff. But man, I've been thinking a little bit, and I kind of want to spice up our VR chatter, just chatting streams, to kind of like do VR chat like with the green screen. And I don't know what to do like behind it, rather than just like doing like one of those walking videos. I could either start setting up like interesting things to watch on a YouTube playlist or something, or I don't know. I think my brain kind of died a little bit on that one, but it's still thinking. It's still thinking of things to do or things to like figure out and whatnot. So I guess we're gonna go back to counting sheep a little bit, and after the next 20 sheep, I'll find something cozier to talk about. I gotta stop constantly talking about technical stuff because my brain gets like really technical sometimes. So, are you ready to start off with the oxen, 21 sheep, 22 sheep, 23 sheep, 24 sheep, 25 sheep, 26 sheep, 27 sheep, 28 sheep, 29 sheep, 30 sheep, 31 sheep, 32 sheep, 33 sheep, 34 sheep, 35 sheep, 36 sheep, 37 sheep, 38 sheep, 39 sheep, 40 sheep. Instead of sheep, instead of foxes, what if we do something a little bit more personal? Instead of sheep, what about fluffs? You know? Instead of counting these individual, non-existent sheep, what if I talk about the actual existing fluffs of mine? You know? Each and every one of you that is like just trying to relax and wind down for the night. You know? I figured it'd be easier to count you guys instead of something imaginary. Yes, tail squish. Sleepy, sleepy tail wag. Good old hydrate, you know? Now, I don't know if the rain's gonna be like the best, but I was like, rain could be something interesting. I thought about emulating it instead of like actual rain. Like if I just started tapping instead. It'd be kind of light and whatnot. But it'd be, I guess like an interesting experiment. Finding other sounds to like, experiment with and stuff like that. But hey, experimenting is like half the battle, you know? We do have to start somewhere. And we'll start from wherever it is we can find. Then we'll go from there. Then we'll try again. And try again. Some alternatives that I was gonna like use and whatnot was like, even if it's like not raining and whatnot, you can always emulate the sound of like rain hitting other things, like other surfaces and whatnot. It really depends, like, I don't know. I guess maybe just like the more I think about it, the first ideas and whatnot are always going to be kind of like either basic, strange, or not just what sounds good and whatnot. Funny enough, after like setting up my mic the way I have it and whatnot, getting a clear sound really isn't the issue. That's always the first battle. Second battle is picking sounds or items and whatnot that like produce good sounds, or at least usable ones. Because the third most important thing to remember is it's not so much to have a good sound, it's how you use that sound. So, the two things you kind of want out of that are like, what emotion are you trying to like play on? What atmosphere are you trying to create? Stuff like that. And, 3, does it fit the mood? There's so many things you could use. Like, especially just like around the house items and whatnot. But you just gotta find like what works with your style and stuff like that. So that's the step I'm kind of on like right now and whatnot. Figuring out what sound do I want to use. And go from there, Well, I think it's time for a little bit more sheep and whatnot. So, let's get to number 16 next. Welcome on in, Dom. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Oh, I know it did the thing. It did the fake sneeze. My face hurts. Anyways, if I need to sneeze, I'll definitely mute the mic. I don't want to destroy anybody's eardrums. Dom 1402, thank you so much for the follow, and welcome on in. I am Lily Moetsuki, the fox on the screen, and tonight we're doing a little bit of ASMR Sundays. ASMR Sundays are kind of a like relaxation time. I just kind of like talk and whisper. Something like pillow talk and stuff like that. Just for people to like wind down and relax. Take it easy and go to sleep. We do other kind of things, experiments from time to time. Like tomorrow's gonna be a kind of an experiment with positive reaffirmations and stuff. We get people ready to wind down and have a good sleep before the first day of the work week. And then after the first day of the work week, we give them a pat on the back. But hey, if you're into stuff like that, or other sort of like variety and indie games, we do a fair bit on the channel and stuff like that, so welcome on in. Now, I believe we were gonna start counting sheep, huh? So, let's go and do that next. 41 sheep. 42 sheep. 43 sheep. sheep. And if I remember correctly, I was supposed to change it up, wasn't I? So, how about this? Let me clear my throat and we're gonna count flops instead real quickly, okay? Give me a second. Okay. Throat is all clear. So, let me do a bit of a posture check. I've been such a shrimp lately after playing Power World. I gotta get on to myself about that. 46 fluffs. 47 fluffs. 48 fluffs. 49 fluffs. 50. I think I have like my respiratory system's trying to do something weird, I'm sorry. 50 fluffs. 51 fluffs. 52 fluffs. 53 fluffs. 54 fluffs. 55 fluffs. 57 56 fluffs. 57 fluffs. 58 fluffs. 59 fluffs. 60 fluffs. Kind of feel like sheep just feels a bit more natural, honestly. I think that the fluffs does has a nice little personal spin on the idea. But I do think the idea, whoops, I didn't mean to hit my thermos, was like, it's not made to be any more complicated. And if the idea behind it is sheer simplicity, I do think we're gonna stick with it. So I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted. Tonight might be kind of difficult because my mother and my sister's kid are just making way too much noise. It's constantly distracting me. They never seem to like pick good days to do this stuff. I don't know, I just kind of feel like they're always countering whatever it is I'm planning on. But hey, we're just gonna take it one day at a time. I'm not gonna let it get to me. If it gets too much, I'll just take a bit of a break and then we'll be back tomorrow night. But for now, we still got a little bit more time, at the bare minimum. I've got at least another hour in me tonight. And, man, that sleepy brain mode has definitely got me going right now. Well, to those of you who are like tuning in and whatnot, what did you make of the weekend and whatnot? Did anybody do something fun and exciting? Did anybody do anything, I don't know, different and whatnot? What all are you looking forward to this week? Do you have a long week ahead of you? Are you going to be doing anything interesting? Fun? Anything like that? Sorry if you're clicking noises. I gotta take a look at something real quickly. Just to make sure things are Stable. Not stable. What I was trying to say is I need to find my ad manager. That way I can figure out when the ad break was coming up. Let's see. About 5 minutes from now. About 5 minutes from now. I'll probably like run the ad break manually. If I remember it, of course. Otherwise, hey, we'll just take it as it comes. So, I haven't really got much on my brain for like simple pillow talk stuff. Something about pillow talk is like, I don't know. I think, yeah, one, it makes more sense to be like resting against the pillow and stuff like that. But it's also, you need like a different part of your brain, I guess. And my brain's kind of like very relaxed right now. So I feel like I'd be like in the position of receiving like the ASMR voice. So it's kind of like, how do I do like a hybrid? How do I don't know, you know? You're just listening to an empty-brained fox tonight. But hey, tomorrow, I might try to plan it a little bit better. Try to have like a couple of things typed out in advance, and then we'll go from there. I do think like my throat is a little bit rough right now, so I'm sorry if it doesn't sound as great tonight. I don't think I'm getting sick, but I think like all weekend my throat just kind of felt a little bit weird. And if it's probably because I played like way too much Powell, I think that like 15-hour stream probably messed my throat a little bit. So I'll probably like maybe just like relax it just a little bit. Just kind of maybe not put on too much of a voice and whatnot tonight. And just try to find something consistent, I guess. You're doing Blue Mage stuff in 14? Oh. I heard there's like a big update getting ready to come out. Like the next big expansion. I feel like that's a game that I'd probably enjoy, but it's like, it is such a massive time sink these days. Granted, it'd be a fun one. I think I'd really enjoy the game. But like, I think my problem with MMOs in general is like time. But it's also like excuse me, I'm sorry about that. My throat keeps, hold on, I'll clear my throat properly. Mic, turn off, please. Oh, I know what I did. Past couple of days, I've been forgetting to use my nasal spray. That's probably why it feels like my sinuses are completely like screwed right now. Shit. Well, I guess I know what I need to do tonight. I need to find my nasal spray and get back to it. Okay. Tomorrow will probably be a lot better though. But I guess like one question I had like with 14 and whatnot, is it like, can you just enjoy it for the story and whatnot? Or do you have to do a lot of grinding to get to like the next area or the next episode or the next expansion? And is it just a one-time subscription, like every month? Or do you have to like buy the expansions and then pay for the subscription to play the expansions? Like, how does it work exactly? I know it's like free up until Heaven's Worth, but it's like meh. It seems like there's like a lot of confusing stuff behind it. But I just don't think I'd ever have the time to play the game. That game would be at least a few 100 hours, wouldn't it? It's free to Stormblood. Oh, interesting. You can get all the expansions for $40 and then $13 a month. So the expansion doesn't include any subscription time, correct? You have to get it and the subscription to play it. I mean, it would make sense though. But okay, I'll keep that in mind. So bare minimum, if I was to like force everything within a month, that would still be about $53. But it'd probably be worth it. Man, that would be a 1 month grind, I think, huh? And you can do the main story without grinding. Okay. So the main story, that's like all content, right? I guess there's just like side content, rare drops, gear, or what is the grind, I guess? What would you say if there was grind to the game? You'd have to go and like grind it out or find it. Also, there's an ad break going on, so I'll be back in a bit. I'm gonna try to like take care of my throat just a little bit. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Ads are done. So, yeah. I do think that it's a combination of two things, my throat tonight. Not using my nasal spray, and two, way too much Power World. Definitely. But hey, the game's so fun. But I'm also like, I don't know if I want to stream more of it, because, I'll be honest, really fun game. Really good game. But it does get a little bit grindy around the middle of the game, so I'm kind of like, I don't know what all the game has to offer during the mid game that might be like cool to show off, because I can do some of like the grinding off stream, but I'm also like, I don't know. I guess it's a little like Arceus when you think of like traveling and just kind of seeing what spawns and like where what spawns. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Maybe if I do like more multiplayer stuff, I can stream that instead, maybe. Let's see. Grinding is mostly optional. Optional raids. Oh, okay, so some of the raid content's optional, so that might be why. Yeah. The grind is extra stuff. So, like doing other classes besides your main, running dungeons and raids for gear, but all of the story can be seen without grinding. The only real optional content you might do is for class specific questing and some abilities. The whole point of the endgame is to do all of the optional stuff, to be fair, rather than view it as optional. It's more positive to think of them as things that you can get to do. Gotcha. Hey Nasha, welcome on in. How are you doing tonight? Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy Sunday evening. Did you have a good weekend, Nasha? Did you get to do anything fun? Anything interesting at all? Actually, anything actually difficult is optional, so it's a very low barrier to entry. Okay. That's cool. That is pretty cool. If they just let you focus on all the stories from the expansions, and then I guess by that extension, side classes would be like completely optional, huh? The main stories and the side stuff would be pretty much enough to get you, I guess, the full experience, huh? Well, we'll see what next month has in store. If we need a time sink, then I do have an idea. If supposedly, the latter part of next month goes really well, I'll consider grabbing 14 and playing it during our anniversary, our marathon. That'd be a good way to spend a lot of time. Besides, I think there's a lot of people here that would probably enjoy it too, because I know at least half of you play 14, trust me. I hear about it all the time. Just chillin', playing Risk of Rain 2 while listening to ASMR. Oh, I gotcha. You're just taking it easy, relaxing, listening in. Risk of Rain 2 is pretty fun. It's definitely a nice little, whatchamacallit. It's a game you can just kind of like shut your brain off for and just listen in a little while. How are you doing, NC? Good evening. And happy Sunday night, happy Sunday evening. How are you doing tonight? What have you been up to? What brings you on by? How was your weekend and stuff like that? We are back on our ASMR Sundays. Just doing a bit of a end of the week. Relax. Winding down and just, chatting. Chatting, but nice and soft. Maybe a little like whispers as well and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're just taking it easy and getting ready for the start of the week. I know everybody's like kind of tuckered out, like tired this weekend. Power World has just been like, you know, that game has been like way too fun. It's been amazing. But hey, when you play a game for like 14 hours a day for like several days straight, it's hard to like, you know, you gotta rest at some point. The brain has to slow down. That's such a charming voice. Thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like the best or anything, but it's, I don't know. Several people have like been wanting me to do ASMR stuff for like a while, so we've been experimenting on the weekends. Every Sunday, we just do a relax, wind down, and like help you go to sleep, help you calm down, and just slip straight into a dream. Or something like that, honestly. I think it'd be like, maybe with like background noise or just, I guess when I listen to like some streams and whatnot, when I'm just like really tired and whatnot, I'll grab me like a wireless earbud. Just one, because I sleep on my sides. Just pop that in, I lay down, and yeah, my brain is just connected to the streamer's voice. And I just, take it down a notch. Take a deep breath. And relax. Begin Monday, full of wholesome fox energy. Yeah, something like that for sure. Definitely. It gets you ready to wind down, relax, and sleep really, really well. And then Monday's here. And that's why we're kind of like doing ASMR on Monday as well now, starting this week. It gets you like ready for the first day of the work week. And then it's like a pat on the back afterwards. It's like, yay, good job. Monday probably sucked, but hey, you made it through it. And there's only 4 more days left. You done got through the first day of the week, and the rest is all downhill. You know, something like that. Something really cozy like and whatnot. So, let me get my water real quickly. Allergies, man, I tell you what. They are a doozy. I think it's like this is, what is it? I think this is like the first time that I've done the ASMR without remembering to use like my nasal inhalant. But it won't do it too much this late. It's a sign that I need to start using it actively again. Because I'm pretty sure I forgot to use it after Thursday, probably. I don't think I even used it on Thursday. My brain was so full of Power World that was like the first thing I started doing. I woke up, then I went back to sleep, then I got back up. And then I took a shower, prepped for stream, started live 2 hours early. Well, not early, but like ahead of release. And we just watched a bunch of YouTube stuff. A bunch of comfy YouTube stuff. But yeah, man, it's nice. Well, it's like, it feels weird. Because when I watch like a lot of bigger streamers and stuff like that, a lot of their like just chatting streams or like chatting ASMR streams, They talk a lot about like what happens over the weekend and just like stuff, but like generalizing and telling stories in a comfy way. But I'm like, when you're such a small streamer, it's like it's hard to tell stories because like everybody that was there is technically your audience, and it's like everybody knows what happens. It's kind of like not much of a story at that point. But this was an interesting weekend. Whole bunch of Pal World, and then VR chat was weird, comfy, wild, exciting, wholesome, informative, critical. Which is, man, it was like a mini episode. Every 15 minutes there was like a new mini episode. And it was like it's nice. It was like a full anime season all in one night or something. But it was really happy because like there's one person that didn't like really like talk all that much and stuff like that. And they were like super drunk. And apparently this is like the second time they'd ever like spoken in VR chat. And the first time around most of us. And oh, the cute drunk voice, it was like cute drunk gremlin voice, and I was just like, I want to give head pats. I want to give him head pats. And it's like, oh, we learned so much that night. We got to talk to them so much that night. But it's kind of interesting how much you can talk to a person that you just don't know much about or haven't really talked to, because like they don't talk. I know they have like their own reasons. I'm never gonna like force somebody to talk and stuff like that. But like the second they start to talk, the second they open up, it's like even if you take two people who just don't talk or are very like non-talkers or stuff like that, we literally talked for hours on end yesterday. It's like little episodes like that are fun. Little episodes like that are fun. I do hope that Little Fluff has a lot more confidence, or will get a lot more confidence and whatnot. Maybe I'll have to talk to them again because, meh. I've been spoiled. I've been absolutely blessed. Also, welcome in, David, and thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in and have a good time while you're listening and stuff. I am Lily Moetsuki, the fox on the screen. Tonight, ASMR Sundays. But yeah, I'll say I've been like absolutely spoiled. Seems like every so often, like, we have like a new person that just kind of like either shows up or somebody that's been there starts talking, and it's just like it's such a blessing because I don't know. I like voices, I guess you could say. And it's like every other person we meet just like, oh, you're captivated for that day. And then every time they speak again, I guess it's because they just speak so rarely, maybe. I don't know. But I also think like for those that have started talking more, that it still has that same kind of effect. I just like cute fluffs. I like cute voices. And I like to hear the cute fluffs talk. So I've been spoiled because I've been meeting so many. I just want to give them head pats. I just want to give them snuggles and be like, good job. You're doing a good job. But man, the one thing that I could definitely relate to. Also, welcome in Yui. How's Kitty Boy doing today? How's little Yui doing? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. What have you been up to? What have you been doing? Staying nice and cozy. Rambling about what you enjoyed about the weekend still works. Kind of, yeah. That's all like kind of like. I guess for me is because I guess I don't have much experience talking or like retelling stories in a non-specific way is like, how do you do this? I don't know. I think it's because I also worry about it. It's just like, I guess in the back of my mind, it's kind of like, who doesn't want me to talk about what is what it is? It's like, but I don't like talk about things that don't need to be talked about. It's just like, meh. I don't know. I guess a lot of my growing up as a kid and whatnot was like, just never being allowed to talk, I guess. Or just like nobody wanted to hear anything, or it's like everything I said was always like instantly snapped at. So I guess that's like kind of my story for like I didn't talk a lot, like throughout grade school and college and stuff like that. Doing a good job right now. I guess I don't know. Oh yeah, the thing I was gonna say was like the one thing that I've noticed, whether you have an amazing voice or not, is that nobody really likes the sound of their own voice. And then I started like after talking with them, I came to the realization that it's not so much that we can't really see our voice. We don't know how to interpret our voice. Therefore, it's like I think for a lot of people, it's like we don't really know like what exactly we'd want our voice to be, anyways. Like a clear, concrete image. Because you can always get there. You can always work there, and you can get like pretty much 90% of any kind of goal like you want and whatnot. And it's like we as people don't know how to see that we've made that progress already. And it's like I think for low confidence issues, like especially like myself, because that's one of my big issues, is the goalpost always moves because we can't see it. We're always like focused on it, the goalpost itself. And like when you're staring it dead in the eye, when you're getting closer to it, you can't see your progress because you're not looking at the progress. You're looking at the goalpost. And that's why nobody has confidence in their own voice, even if they're making progress on it and getting better at it. And it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like I have these like little moments of realization when I'm talking to others about things that like I kind of go through with sometimes, like here and there. Maybe not all the time, but I'm also really good at like sympathizing or empathizing because I do a lot of like simulation or like run scenarios in my head and just kind of like I don't know. In a weird way, I can replicate or create scenes, I guess, or experiences in my head. And then that's kind of how I like begin to ask like either bigger questions or pinpoint questions. Because a lot of things that are overly complicated, like we as humans, is definitely because we're not looking at what needs to be focused on specifically. Rather, we don't know how to focus on what we're focusing on in a way that resolves the issue. You know? I don't know how to explain that, but it's like the voice isn't really the issue. It's everything behind it. The mindset, the goal, how we see one ourselves, two, the voice for what it really is, and then three, being able to see your progress. And I realized that being able to see your progress in goalposts and stuff like that, that's applicable to everything. That's applicable to every single skill, profession, career, or anything out there. Because it's like art. Like now that I think about it, art's the same way. You can always envision what your like goal is, but like if you stare too much on the goal and not enough on the progress, which is where I tend to say is like you have to enjoy the process, not just the result. The process needs to be the most important. That is just the more, like, what is it? Aware, like mentally aware version of what I'm saying. It's not just enjoy the process. The flip side is that the progress needs to be enjoyed. So I guess like in the future when I say you have to enjoy the process as well, most importantly to enjoy the result, you have to enjoy the process, but you have to enjoy the progress or see the progress or acknowledge the progress. And that's what makes it count. That's what makes it stick. Also, welcome on in, Chicken Nugget. How are you doing, Chicken Nuggies? What kind of sauce do you like? Which is your favorite? How are you doing? I'm Lily Moetsuki, by the way. The fox on the screen. We're doing some ASMR tonight. We just kind of chat about anything. We wind down on Sunday night and get ready for the work week. Sometimes it takes me like a little while to like warm up or find like either a tangent to go on or a story. And tonight, I guess we're just, I guess at some point like confidence became the subject. Because I see this like come up on a lot of things. Like social interaction for one. Voice stuff is very common because, when you do like a lot of your either own voice stuff, whether it's voice acting, pitch, tone, personality, music, but like really, this can be applied to so many things, it's crazy. So let me give you some examples. Because I bet, like, not just voices, you can probably compare, like, these examples to any other, like, profession. So I guess one example I can give is, like, okay, say, for instance, you're doing art or voices. I want to focus on those two because they're so relevant, and I have a feeling like this, some people, like, might either be able to, like, I don't know, if they can give me, like, a counter argument, or if not, if it just helps them even slightly, I'll give it a shot. But bare minimum, I guess it's like my own introspection, because it's like sometimes I have to say things out loud for my brain to like rethink them and word them differently, maybe. Because like my brain like does its own evaluations too. I have to help myself just as much as I help others. So a lot of like my process of like talking about how I work through this mental mumbo jumbo is because I'm trying to help myself out. Because I have that mumbo jumbo. And it's like, okay, meh. Hello, Rendezvous. How are you doing in? Welcome in. Happy weekend, happy Sunday night. How goes? You doing okay tonight? You doing okay tonight? Are you ready for the nice week ahead? Did you have a fun weekend? What have you been up to? I'm gonna get me some water real quickly. Good old H2O, I gotta clear my throat again. Okay, so back to example time. Because this is a really good one. I'll give them both, but I'll do them individually first. Even though it's gonna be like repeating itself, let's see this. Okay. Your personal attention is cute, and cute questions are soothing. Isn't I guess it's like interesting because my brain's weird, I guess you could say. Like I've noticed that the way that I think through things or talk about things is always different. Because like when I see other people do it, I can't relate sometimes. Because I don't know. But like, I see people do a lot of similar patterns, and my brain is like, I don't know. I wonder if it's because of my ADHD or just. I really don't know why I think differently, but it's interesting. I don't even know how to give an example of what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm weird, but it's interesting to talk about why I'm weird, I guess. So, okay, with art, one example I can give that I've both been through and have seen numerous times is when, say, you have like a role model, for example, and you're like, I want to draw just like them, or these artists. It doesn't have to be like just one and whatnot. And you kind of say like, well, this is my goal, and there's two ways to where you can be stuck looking at the goalpost or stuck at a moving goalpost, which is even more difficult. And I'll give you an example of that. Kevin Loveran is your role model. Awesome. Having a role model is a very positive thing, but there are certain, I guess, like issues that, depending on someone's like confidence levels or how they're seeing their role models or what they're doing, I guess, like to progress or I don't know how to explain. As well, or is it like kind of a mix? Or, hey, what all were you doing on Genshin? Were you doing some story content? Were you doing any gacha pulls? Or how was it? How was it, Raiders? How was the raid over there? Thank you so much for the raid. I am Lily Moetsuki, and I am the fox on the screen tonight. We're doing a little bit of ASMR. And it's like, our Sunday ASMRs are kind of like, mostly just like low voice. Or not low voice. What is the word? Like soft. Or just like whispers and whatnot. But it's mostly a way to like wind down, because in our community, a lot of our Fridays and Saturday nights are always like crazy, wild, especially Saturdays, because it's like our VR chat nights. And some of us just get like hammered and just, we drink all night. We're up to like 5 o'clock in the morning and just like, So Monday's always like the rough day. It's that first day of the week where you have to like, you know, work yourself up and get ready for the work week. And, sometimes nobody's looking forward to that. Or sometimes people are like panicking. It's like, I don't want another Monday. But it's like, well, Sunday night, instead of gaming, instead of doing something high energy and whatnot, we just do some comfy ASMR where we just kind of like chat, talk, whisper, and relax. And that way everybody can go off to their Monday with a good night's sleep. And yeah, tonight's been interesting because we've been all over the place. And we kind of stopped at 60 sheep earlier, because sometimes we'll count sheep if I'm like stuck on what to talk about, or like, I don't know. Hold on. Man, my respiratory system's been like, been needing to be cleared out quite a few times tonight. Those allergies, they always find a way to get to me. But yeah, so, what was I talking about? How do I want to explain it again? Right, with the progress, the goalpost, stuff like that. Here's the thing. Ah, man, I've lost it. How do I explain this? It's so simple to explain. I had it, and as now I'm just like on the cusp of losing it. So, I guess the easiest way to explain it, and this is probably gonna be like a weirder way, because I can't remember the genius way that I just came up with, is don't just focus on the goal point. Don't focus on the end goal. Don't focus on what like you see yourself having after like either however long it takes you to hit that goal. Whether you're grinding for weeks, months, or years, don't make that end goal the priority. Because here's the thing, you can always go above and beyond. But if you focus too much on the goal, then you're not going to focus enough on the progress. So the simplest way that I can explain this is that I guess let's explain this in a very different way, because I can't make this sound like it's making sense. My brain's just too dead. But I need to find another way to explain this because it's important. So what I'm trying to do is like, if we're not trying to focus too much on your goal, whether it's a master art style, a pitch perfect voice, or an amazing driving skill or something like that. My brain is like so sloppy tonight, it's crazy. Thank you so much for the follow, sweet cutie kitten. Yeah. Welcome on in. How are you doing tonight? How's the Sunday treating you? How's the weekend? I'm Lily Moetsuki. I'm the fox on the screen. And tonight, we're just doing some simple chatting ASMR. low voice, soft voice, and just a couple of whispers every now and then and stuff like that. Kind of just depends on what I'm doing, I guess. But like, we're like maybe not really like doing an introspect. We're like trying to explain like confidence, progress, and like issues with those that suffer from low confidence and being able to see their own progress and stuff like that. One of like the rules, or not rules, but like standards that I kind of like have been like living by and stuff like that is like, I'll get to that in a second. Welcome in, Lost Wolf. Welcome on back. Let me give you a shout out real quickly. Doing some more ASMR tonight. Hello Raiders, hello Raiders. How was the ASMR over there tonight? Was the wolf giving you some good times? Happy weekend, happy Sunday night. Very comfy, very comfy. I always forget to hit that damn follow button. I'm so glad this little window that shows up tells me when I've hit it or not. Because if I use the other window, it doesn't give me that pop-up. But yeah, welcome on back, welcome on back. We are doing some more Sunday ASMR. Just soft voice comfy times. I've been mostly rambling because like my brain's half asleep. So thank you for the headpats, the one game. And thank you some guy for the follow. Thank you some guy for the follow. Welcome on in everybody. Vintaz Night, welcome for the follow as well. Welcome to the community and everything like that. The stream is great, celebrated 500 followers. And with everyone's support, you now have a 3DO on the way. Big hype. Big congrats. Holy shit. That's like a big milestone in every ASMR streamer's like, you know, repertoire, not repertoire, like assets, toolkit, whatever you want to call it. You're about to have some crazy fun, y'all. Everybody in your community too, get ready to look forward to that and whatnot. Wolf's gonna be gracing you from the left and the right. Oh, I hope you get it really soon too. I hope you get like really fast shipping, early delivery and whatnot. He did cheat to get it. Aw, what do you mean cheat? What did the little wolf do? What did he do? How did he cheat? You know, whatever he did to get it, I'm pretty sure he earned it fair and square. You know. You know, sometimes you can take a shortcut, but that doesn't mean it's cheating and whatnot. But hey, it depends on. Oh, he spent the money on Twitch. He got to fund it. Hey, hey. I wouldn't say that's necessarily cheating, you know? Because if you think about it this way, the revenue that you get from your, you know, your own, like Twitch income, whether it's based on like your subs, your bits, your ads, you know, that's money that you get from your, yeah, exactly those stuff. See, he knows, guys. He knows. That's not cheating. It comes from support, whether it's just simply watching, following, like subscriptions, donos, thrones, whatever. You know, that's all revenue that comes from simply being a part of a wonderful community. And if it comes from the community, I think it has every right to go towards a 3DO. I think it has the right to go towards any assets for the stream because, in a way, simple participation is part of the revenue process. You know, sometimes it's the big part, sometimes it's the small part, but it's always a part, and it's always a, you know, something to be valued and appreciated. So, once again, big congratulations to Lost Wolf. That'll be fun. I might even have to stop by to you, like, when you get it and whatnot, to check it out. I'll have to be like looking for like the message to pop up first, like 3DO stream or whatnot. It's always fun to see somebody's first 3DO stream. It's nice. Just it's a huge difference when you have like left and rights and whatnot. I know, I'd be like on the edge of my seat. Like, is it coming today? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? You know, I would, oh man, I'd be so giddy and excited. I'm excited for you though. That's awesome. You have the Blue Yeti. So I have a semi left right. Oh, interesting. I guess the Blue Yeti can kind of like emulate like left and right to an extent. Does it have like a way to like, I don't know. I wonder how it like varies it, I guess. Happy Haven Boy, welcome in and thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Raiders and whatnot. For those who haven't met me and whatnot, I am Lily Moetsuki. I am the fox on the screen. And tonight, we're back on ASMR duty for the end of the week. Comfy, soft voice, whispers, and pretty much brain dead fox talking about nonsense, you know? Whether we're talking about counting sheep, talking about like introspective stuff, or just, for an entire hour asking myself, what was I talking about again? Welcome to our Sundays. No worries about the look. No worries. Have a good look. Have a good comfy. Have a good snack, food, rest, or whatever you need to do and whatnot in the meantime as well. We'll be glad to have you as you listen in. But until then, have a good look. Have a good sleep. And thank you once again for the raid. Congrats again. Congrats again. Audio separation feature. Interesting. That is actually really cool. That is really cool. I've never heard of anything like that. So if we can separate them to the left and right. Oh, did you finish the one sibling game? Had to sign up for the relevant? No. Let's see, that was our second stream, and I think we're like 1 hour into the second episode. So they're in the motel, and Ashley is about to have her first dream with the demons. At least I'm pretty sure that's about what to happen, you know? They were sharing a bed because the two pillows were on the same bed, so, you know? Ashley's about to go to sleep. I wonder what's about to happen next time. But yeah, if you'll be looking forward to that, it'll be back on Wednesday night. Wednesday night, me and Dolly will be back at about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's a funny one. It's a weird one. But no, it's so uncanny, unhinged, and nonsensical. But that's what makes it great. It's just a giant like shitpost. It's so good. Yep, Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. We usually do 9 to 12, and oh my god, my sister's kid is so fucking loud. Guess I'm sorry if you hear it through the mic. I've tried to soundproof my door as much as I could, but like I said, her voice is hypersonic, and it pierces even like 20-foot thick metal. I don't know how she does it, but like, kids, am I right? I've heard it's odd, but I kind of like the, yeah, that, I like dark humor, dark games, psychological horror, humor with psychological horror, shitposty kind of, I don't know, controversial stuff. I don't know. It's just so weird. It's so unhinged, but it's awesome. But it also is, I guess it's because both characters are like a bit of a gremlin, you know? They both like troll and gaslight each other. And it's funny to see whose power level is greater for like one situation or another. Is Ashley gonna get like her neck choked again? Or is like Auntie gonna break down? Or just like, oh, it's great. The two are literally the worst for each other, but they can't live without each other. They absolutely need each other. That's why you like Lethal Company? It's the horror and the funny. It is. Actually, it is. Funny enough. The more and more that you play, like, it might not be scary, like, the first couple of times, but, like, once you start to, like, really kind of get an edge for the game, and you start trying to, like, play faster, because, like, you're focusing on the objectives, you'll start finding yourself doing things like, what's that sound? I've not heard that before. is somebody with me? And it's just like, you know? And if you don't see anything for a while and you start running really fast, you run into like a thumper, or you run into like, I would say the Bracken's probably not the scariest one, just because I it's so hard to detect it, so you even get like a chance to like either stare or not stare at it. 90% of the time I die to a Bracken before I even know it's there. It's just neck snap. And I'm just like, oh my god. But it's the good thing about it is a lot of times that it has happened when I'm in multiplayer. The sound of the neck snap goes through the radio. So if you're talking on the radio, which is pretty good to do, communication in a game like that, your team hears the neck snap and they're like, oh, there's a Bracken, guys, be careful. It's like, well, I guess he's dead, you know? It's fucking hilarious. So, a little bit annoying, but in terms of like the social experience, it's so funny. It's so funny. But my god, the thumper, the nutcracker, stuff like that, fucking terrifying. What's even more terrifying is if you don't like properly do like gesture communication and you just like, what is that sound running? And it sounds like it's on the other end of the map and it just keeps running. It just keeps running. And it's like, you're like starting to panic, like, am I lost? Which way did I go? And it's just like, oh my god. Getting lost in that game is a nightmare. If you do Titan runs, please take spray paint. I suck at spray paint, but the easiest way to like do spray paint is every door that you go through leaving the like fire or main entrance, spray above the doorway on the other side. That way when you're running trying to find the main entrance or the exit again, you're just going to be looking for that purple mark above the door. And if you keep going through that door, you'll eventually find the exit. Don't do what a friend of mine does sometimes and spray the inside. Because if you spray the inside, you'll start running away from the exits and the entrances. And it's like, my guy, why are you spraying from the inside? Because you can't see them unless you turn around after going through like a doorway. And it's just like, every time. It's, definitely play that game with people. But if you really want to shit yourself, play it solo. Because then, you have to watch out for those sounds. Those sounds are never your teammates. Unless you'd like to troll yourself with mods. Some of the mods are like, they can make the game interesting. And if you forget that you're playing solo and you play with the Mimic mod, the Mimic Overhaul mod that removes the masks from the mimics, you'll probably learn really quickly not to ever go near them. But if you go into multiplayer after that, you're going to be scared of your own teammates. And if you go into that playing solo after playing with teammates, you're going to run into them. It's just like, guys, I don't know how they did it, but Lethal Company is genius. It's a simple recipe, and the game is amazing. It's the perfect blend of simple, complex, fun, horror, and numbers go up. Incremental stuff. Watch that quota, hit that quota. It's nice. They're easy to deal with if you know they're there. Yeah, if you know they're there, it becomes much easier. The mods make it way scarier. They can make it scarier, funnier, harder, and oh my god, Brutal Company is amazing. Nobody wants to play like Brutal Company, but like I'm the one guy who's just like, so can we play with Brutal Company today? It's like if I'm ever the host, I put it in there for like an hour or two, but it's like, when you play with Brutal Company, it's the quota's kind of a suggestion at that point. Just because you never know when you're going to spawn in on a map and the event's going to say all. It's good. The funny one is when you get the automated defense spawn and the little machine gun is just constantly moving around the the map outside of the building. I'd totally try that in for difficult games. Definitely look into it. Brutal Company is it's a wacky way to play the game, I'll be honest. It does increase like the findable loot by like 3 times, but the mod is meant to kill you as quickly as possible for the most part. Especially if you get the event that summons a landmine under your feet every like 5 seconds. You can't stay still. You can't stay still. It's great. It's amazing. I always find that the Bracken, because I keep my head on a swivel, which makes it easier to deal with. Wait, what's a swivel? I found a mod that makes going through Eclipse worth it. It gives a scrap cost multiplier. Interesting. Also, I just noticed if I turn to the right sometimes, my cable might hit my collar, which is hanging off of my mic stand. So that was kind of interesting. Kind of surprised myself when I heard the sound of it. Found a mod that makes... Eclipse is... I guess it depends on the map, and if you know what you're doing. But if you can get a multiplier for doing it, I guess it kind of balances it out. It's just... extreme caution. Extreme caution. But if I'm ever like Titan, Rend, or... Actually, I really don't like doing it on Rend and Dine. Because there's a lot more risk. Because of the distance. But on Titan, it's kind of like... If you go on Titan and it's clear, and then you go to Titan again, and it's eclipsed, and you still have 2 days left, it's kind of like... It's kind of like we're taking a chance on it. I think anyways. A swivel is basically keeping a lookout constantly. Basically being paranoid in the game's terms. Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't do a lot of. I don't look behind my back nearly enough. Which is probably why the Bracken kills me a lot. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I should always be checking behind my back. After at least like the first hour or 2 or 3. Because most things usually spawn by like, I guess 12 p.m. and whatnot. At least that's what I think anyways. But yeah. After the Power World Addiction, Lethal Company's probably still going to be really hot. I'll probably still be playing it too. Yeah, I'd be playing it more, but like after Power came out, it's just like, I gotta grind, I gotta finish all the content. And then once I catch them all, then I'll be back on Lethal Company probably. And you know, when I do play it again, there's probably going to be even more mods to play with, so I'll be looking forward to that. Let's see. I know I kind of went off on a tangent and stuff like that, but we'll get back to the introspective stuff in just a little bit. Eyeless dogs or giants spawn early? Around 6? Like 6 p.m.? I guess it depends on the map. At least from what I've heard or what I think certain planets can make them spawn sooner. So like experimental, assurance, vow, I think they do spawn closer to 5 or 6. But I think some can spawn as early as like 12 or 1 on like Titan, Rend, and Dine. I think there's also a really rare chance that they can spawn even before 9 or 12 p.m. on any map. It's just a really low chance. Welcome in, no Nani. How have you been? How are you doing? Welcome on by. Welcome on in. We're doing some ASMR tonight. Some comfy Sunday ASMR where we just kind of talk a little bit about everything. Kind of like pillow talk, but it's like pillow talk voice, but like the random conversations or, they can be anything. I think offense is one of those. Offense is like an in between kind of. Offense, it feels like they spawn sometimes as early as like 3 or 4. And I feel like eyeless dogs are the most common on offense. Offense is. I liked it at first, but then it's been really hard to play lately. If anything, I found myself playing March a lot more. But March has a lot of convenience with a lot of fire exits, but it also depends. I like to play with the Mimic mod, so sometimes it can make it difficult if I start main. But the advantage of March, even with Mimics, is that you can start exits pretty easily, and you know, you can kind of go into 3 or 4 different exits really quickly and get out if one of them's not too happy. Oh, you just finished a 10-hour stream and you have a square tail? Oh, that's a long stream. That's an endurance stream. Were you doing art? Were you doing video games? What was No Nani doing? But what does square tail mean? Does that mean from like flat from sitting too much? Or is that an expression? I'm curious. What does square tail mean? Really easy to get to main. Oh yeah, it is. Like it's actually comfy enough that you can get to it on foggy. sign to get their specific type of food? What does that even mean, meow mix? Meow 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 meow. Okay, I remember that. But yeah, I that's interesting. I've never gotten a cat food whatchamacallit ad before. That'd be kind of cool. Like, I don't mind getting quirky ads or ads that I've like not seen before and are done in good taste. But a zodiac for cats is like, how does that work? How would that work? What would it be like for cats? Would it be like different type of cats on the zodiac? It'd be weird to have like a rat cat because you know the rat is part of the Chinese zodiac. But I mean, man, that's so weird, but I like it. It makes no sense. I guess because it makes no sense, I like it. Maybe. Yeah, but yeah. Art and a little bit of Lethal Company. Oh, nice. You still been playing it. I'm glad to see that. Yep. A lot of us, we've been talking about like Lethal Company for like half an hour or so, I think. Just a little bit of a spill because that game's so good, so good, so good. It's like a simple recipe for fun and spooky time. Yeah, fun and spooky time. But yeah, art's good too. Art's good too. You're still drawing cute stuff. I know Pancake's always sending me the cute stuff and whatnot, so I always get to see what you're working on. Him and his little brown head cutie and whatnot. I know he's out there somewhere too. But yeah, they've been really cute to see. It's fun. I got it recently after watching people play it. Oh, don't worry, we're all bad at it when we first start. And even afterwards, don't worry. The game feels like it's kind of a like you can still be good at the game and still like make either dumb mistakes or still die to like dumb things. And I think that's the beauty on it. Because that means that the skill cap is high, but the initial hurdle is really low, you know? That way everybody can enjoy it without feeling like they like don't know what to do. Like there's a few basic skills that you do have to learn, but you usually learn them within like the first couple of times playing is like knowing how to use the monitor to see different players, knowing how to leave like by pulling the button, when not to go back in, how to use the flashlight, how to use the scan, little basic things like that. But afterwards, the rest of the game is pretty open. You didn't even know you get starting money for a while? Aw. Yeah, if you go in on the blind, I could see that happening. I'll be honest, I watched the game probably a bunch before I ever played it, and I'm glad I did, because that game would be really confusing. Because I'd be like, how the fuck do I use the monitor? How do I get to the store? What are these buttons? Why are they typing in shorthand? And I'm just like, yeah, I would have freaked the fuck out if I didn't watch people play it before I started playing it. It made it so much more digestible and understandable. How you doing, Pancake? How you doing? Also, guys, forgive me 1 second. I don't mean to do like typing ASMR, but like, I need to look one little thing up. Just because I'm mildly curious about something. And sometimes, like, when I get curious, I like instantly have to go and look it up. And gotcha. Alrighty. Curiosity satisfied, you know? You played a little bit with Nani earlier, and all the March Fire exits went to. Oh my god, you got a rare triple room? I've never seen a rare triple room. I've only seen it with mimics, though. A vanilla triple exit room would be unfortunate. A lot of times, like, you will get like 2 exits that are right next to main, or even have all 3 of them like in the same hallway. But did you get them like in the exact same room? I would love a screenshot of that. That would have been so cool to see. But then again, getting a screenshot might be hard to do, but That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it's not, but it's cool to see. You know, it's like that rare little moment where it's just like, I don't know. It's like no, but everybody's laughing. You know, everybody's laughing. All the same room, like a storage room with the shelving. Yep, just like that. That's so weird. I've never heard that happen. I've had it not make sense due to the map, like experimentation's fire exit, and maybe really close together. That's the one that sucks the most. That's the one that sucks the most. When experiments, fire, and main are right next to each other, that's when I cry. Because a lot of times, I like to start fire. I'm actually like a really big like fire starter. I mean, it is my element, but I meant like I like to start fire escape. But it's also because I like to play with the mimic mod, so it just makes sense that I'm accustomed to always going to fire first. But when I go into fire and I see main like right next to it, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I just enjoy going up and down those stairs, even though it takes longer. I don't know. Like some tedious things are just pleasing for some reason. I don't know how to like best to describe that, but like it's therapeutic on the fingers, I guess. Therapeutic on the eyes, maybe. Man, maybe I can like mix in some Lethal Company next month for my anniversary as well. It's just there's so many things I want to do for my anniversary. It's like so little time. But I do plan on doing a bit of a marathon. It'll probably go for a while, so I think Lethal Company will definitely be an idea. So I kind of wonder, like, how would I even do it? I gotta find some funky mods. Some funky mods and maybe like some punishment and stuff like that. That's so weird. I know. I know. I feel like the chance of getting a triple fire exit room is astronomically low, but it can still happen. The game doesn't seem to have like a rule that says if fire exit spawns here, other fire exit can't spawn same room. So, you know, RNG be RNG. So yeah. What if the little fox is out there? I suck at doing it. She does it so well. Honestly, it's like every time she does this, like I want to do that someday too. Like not just make the sound, but like she's really good at doing it rapid fire. It's just pleasing to the ear. It's basically its own ASMR. I'll be honest. What were we talking about earlier? We don't need to go back to sheep just yet. But oh yeah, the confidence stuff. I guess how was I gonna explain it again? I always get stuck on this one. Is I guess I'll like piece it together and then we'll summarize it. Because I have to say my thoughts out loud in order to put them back together. So people have an easier time seeing the progress of others because I guess in a way they don't have a critical attachment to it, or they're not always looking at it with like a critical eye. But sometimes it can be dangerous if they have a bias into always thinking that they're progressing and whatnot. Which is why avoiding biases is really hard when working with confidence. Because if you start off with a negative bias, and especially a positive bias on your goals, your role models and whatnot, you're only making it more difficult. Because then you have to work even harder to offset that. And it depends if you like more of a challenge. If it's not a toxic thing, then I guess you can kind of do that. But for most people, it's never good for the mental health. So you definitely don't want to glorify your goals or your role models and whatnot. If you're going to be super critical of yourself, try to at least give that same level of like criticism as you view your goals and your role models and stuff like that, just so you can at least get some parity. But my main point to mention is that we always have that natural tendency to not like our own progress because this is why. This is actually why. Nobody ever says this. Everybody always says like it's a common fact to not like your own like art, your own voice, your own products, your own performances. The reason why we don't like our own, even for people with like normal confidence and whatnot, is because it doesn't match our ideal outcomes. We always have this overglorified vision of like the perfect goal, the perfect skill, the perfect outcome, or we're comparing against something that already exists. Now, from a technical point of view, that last one is not necessarily wrong. It's just having like a basis that does exist is only good if you can be technical and non-biased. The second any bias comes into play, it's immediately like bad. So, if you have like an overglorified or even impractical, impossible, perfect kind of like goal and whatnot, no matter how good you do, you're setting yourself up for instantly telling yourself that because it's not perfect, or it's not the way it should be, or could be, or would be, you know? Whether it would be because you've had all the time to make it perfect, or because you're not able to make it perfect because of who you are, what you are, anything like that. Like any reason, the shoulda, woulda, coulda mindset, it's bad. Because at the end of the day, you can only do your best. And if you continue to do your best, you will continue to progress. And you can continue to do better than you probably will, if you think about it. Like, we need to break down like that vision of that perfect vision or perfect goal and stuff like that. Thank you for the biddies, Mythos. Thank you for the 100 biddies. Welcome on in. How are you doing tonight? How has your weekend been? How are you doing? Are you ready for the start of the week? Are you ready to wind on down and whatnot? We've been going up like little different conversations throughout the night, and I guess like I'm trying to finish my thought on this like confidence stuff, because it's like I have to do it in parts because it's so hard, because it's such a complex issue, you know? But then again, any like big thing like this is always going to be complicated because humans are complicated and nothing is a one fix all thing, like one cure all. Everything has to be broken down into layers because there's always an explanation for an explanation, but it does stop somewhere. But if you give the end explanation, it doesn't help a lot of times if you don't know the process behind why that's either the solution, the issue, the reason, stuff like that. So, the reason why, like when you're saying my best isn't good enough, let's start there because that's what leads into why a lot of people's perfect visions or perfect goals or role models, like being over glorified and whatnot, is a problem. Is because some people think of my best isn't good enough, or they take best as an insult because they have a low opinion of what their best is, when the vast majority of the time, if not 100% of the time, people do not know what their best is. They make an assumption. And rule one for anything, this goes to anything, not just this confidence stuff. Assumptions are bad. Assumptions are inherently toxic. Now, they don't need to be used toxic in every way, like, it's like, oh, I can assume tomorrow's weather will be good. That's not like a toxic outlook, but just the nature of setting that up. The reason why that's a bad thing is because it's a technical thing. You can never guarantee. So, it's how you apply the assumptions that makes it like bad. I know that's like being an overly critical thing to say. And if like in, day-to-day life, a lot of assumptions are pretty fine. They're not going to harm anybody. They're a simple thought. It's only a problem when they become critical or being applied to something that will suffer from having something that is inherently bad to do. Assumptions just set you up for failures because they set you up with expectations, and a lot of time those expectations are either not going to be met, unlikely, or even impossible. Like, oh, I can assume tomorrow is going to be pretty good weather and whatnot, even though there's obvious clouds in the sky and a storm coming and the forecast is predicting like 4 feet of rain. It would be bad to make an assumption like that. It can happen. I'm not saying like, the weather's unpredictable. I'm just saying it's the act of making an assumption, and I'm trying to explain the technicals as to why it's incorrect, not necessarily bad. But when we apply it to stuff like confidence, skills, and progress and whatnot, why it's bad? Because we as humans are not computers. We are not a simple numerical program that gains EXP every time we hit the button. Sometimes we need to draw a circle 5 times to figure out a comfortable way to make a circle, maybe a way we'd like to make the circle, and sometimes we need to do it 500 times. Whether you need 5 times or 500 times, that episode might only grant you so much experience points. In a weird way of explaining it. So, this is just one example of why assumptions and expectations are not a great thing, because we're going to move at different rates. Now, we move at different rates from people to people, but we also move at different rates ourselves. Comparing ourselves from one day to another day, hell, even 1 hour to another hour. You can be great 1 hour, then you might have an energy crash the next hour if you're like, if you like had caffeine or energy drink or something like that, The mind is constantly changing, and the ability to absorb knowledge and retain knowledge and stuff like that is going to vary. So you can't be like, okay, I'm going to grind 500 heads today. I'm going to grind another 500 heads next week. And by the end of like 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be a master of heads. It's like, no. No, because bottom line, without reiterating the assumptions and expectation stuff, is you're setting yourself a deadline. You're setting yourself an expectation to have mastered something when you do not know for sure if that's enough time for you to absorb that knowledge. 2, you might absorb it faster, and you might end up wasting time to the point you start over-criticizing and over-correcting and inadequately using your time to like practice and whatnot. What you should be focusing is not on the time limit, not on the amount of heads. It's the process of just drawing them in general and feeling comfortable doing so. Because some days you might want to spend a bit more time doing it, some days you want to spend less time doing it, some days you might need a break. And that's because the brain processes things slowly and fastly. And there's never a wrong or right answer, is what I'm saying. I know a lot of people, like, if they fail to meet their schedule, they fail to meet their quota or something like that, it's like, it's ruined. It didn't learn anything. Gotta start it all again. Gotta start from zero. And it's just like, no. That's another sign of being like assumption, expectation, goal, post, focused. I'm returning to that word again because that word is applicable to so many things. And until you recognize it and until you see it, you might not be able to understand why that is. That's why I like to do things this way. It takes me forever to like break down something for an explanation. But by the end of my explanation, if you manage to keep up with me anyways, you'll have seen the explanation from 10 different point of views, and you'll probably be able to use it relatively like easier or quicker than you did if you just heard it once in passing. So the important thing is, of course, to enjoy the process and then enjoy the progress. Because the idea of doing schedules or quotas or this so many heads a day or a week or whatever is rooted in expectations of your goal and hitting that goal in X amount of time. If you are focusing on the goal, you're not focusing on the progress. You're not focusing on the process. You see my point? Do you see my point now? How just as simple as thinking. Now, counter argument real quickly. That explanation was focused on the idea of doing it as a quota. If you're trying to draw so many heads a day or a week and building a habit, that's different. Habit forming is, you can have a goal of forming a habit, and that's perfectly fine, because, that's kind of not really a metaphor, but it's like a process, not really a goal. You're just trying to get yourself in gear. A habit has nothing to do with your outcome, your skill level. It's just to get you started to do it again. Thank you, Valentino, for the follow, as well as Vernon. Welcome in, you two. How are you doing? My name is Lily Moetsuki, and we're doing some ASMR with the Fox tonight. Just spending Sunday relaxing, chatting, and just kind of... I've not done too much whisper since I started explaining, but hey, we might do some more whispering before we get done tonight. But we're doing this weird roundabout way of explaining like confidence, assumptions, expectations, goals, what it means by a goalpost moving or staring at a goalpost so much that you don't see your own progress, or you see that you're moving the goalpost even more and making it even harder to see your progress. And it's just like, it's such a complex subject, but I just like talking through it because it's fun. I have fun doing it, but it also helps people like think about it in a different way, because you can apply this stuff to anything. You can apply it to anything. So, yeah. The reason I did all that with the goalpost and stuff like that, because we done talked about why we don't like seeing our own progress. And this is like another part of that, because if you start like not liking like keeping up with those goals that you're setting, yeah, the goal's always further up. But it's different when it comes to games because I'll explain it this way. This is why video games actually turn some of the stuff into a positive thing rather than like a negative thing, because you're not really creating like assumptions and expectations and goalposts. Rather, the game is establishing goals that are concrete, that are real, that are obtainable. I know if you're a platinum achievement hunter, that might sound now listen. No. They are still concrete and obtainable. Yes, they might take you 2 years to achieve if it's a very fucking dumb, difficult one, but they are concrete, they are established, and they're not based on your biases. They're not based on your expectations. They're not based on your fantasies of, something that's you're doing. What it is a lot of times is sometimes you do this inattentively, unintentionally, as a way to like bring yourself down. This is a pattern that happens in like low confidence individuals. My hand is raised up because I'm one of them and I can relate to this, and Thank you for the hydrate, Sally. Welcome back. How are you doing tonight? Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a fun Friday and Saturday? How has it been? How are you doing tonight? Also, if you hear that bell, it's not a bad sound. It just means like sometimes when I reach over to grab my water, if I move, like I'm not wearing my collar right now, but I have it hanging off of my mic stand. And sometimes my cable will like hit the bells and it's like, I like the sound of it, kind of. So that's a way to like do it naturally and not artificially. So it's a nice ring to like hear from time to time. But yeah. Ah shit, there's an ad break. I always forget about my ad breaks. I've been on a roll tonight and I keep having to like take a short break, so I'll be back in a little bit, guys. I'm gonna let the ad play out and I'll be back. Hang tight. Okay, it's almost done. I thought the ad was done. I started turning everything on. We can wait. Alright, welcome back, everybody. Ad break is officially over. And this time, I am early because I thought it was over and I started turning everything on. And it was just like, no. You still got 6 seconds. So let's see. Where are we on that explanation? We were talking about. It was like the realization part as to why it was like a bad thing and stuff like that. Mysteries. I think if I'm mispronouncing that, let me know. But welcome on in and thank you so much for the follow. I am Lily Moetsuki. I'm the fox on the screen, and tonight is another night of our comfy Sunday ASMR, where we just wind down from a fun, happy weekend and we get ready for that Monday, that first day of the work week. And then we sleep soundly and have a good day. And then starting this week, we'll be back on Monday nights with more ASMR. We're doing 2 ASMR streams a week now. We do the one before the first day of the week and one right after. That way I can celebrate you guys and give you a pat on the back for making it through a long, difficult work week. If I can, I am going to try to stick to 9 p.m. streams throughout the week. But if I start a bit earlier, forgive me. Tuesday, I have to be up early for a doctor's appointment, so, it's going to be one of those things. But yeah. I'll be here. I'll be here throughout the week. Or something like that. So let's see, what's another aspect we can talk about, like the goalposts and stuff like that? So, yeah, we're talking about why video games do it in a good way. Because the goal's being established, like, by itself. Like, the game sets it up for you. And whether you set it up for you or the game sets it up for you, a challenge is healthy. A challenge is healthy. How you establish the challenge is the problem. The challenge is always present whether you take it as a challenge or not. Because for some, a challenge might motivate them or it might not. But usually in a video game, it usually motivates you because it tells you what you need to do very precisely. It gives you a blueprint that is like ABC, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3. And when you do things for yourself, your own goals, stuff like voice, art, driving, languages, stuff like that, the goals are always going to be more obscure, more, something you kind of envision for yourself and what you want and how you're able to see. Now, one thing to remember is that every person might have the same 5 senses, but we all perceive things at different intensities, opinions, likes, biases, and all things like that. So, don't be too harsh on yourself if you just don't like what you like, because the reason why you're practicing anyways is because you already have an idea of what you're working towards, or even how to work on it, or change what you don't like to make better. And here's the thing that people forget a lot when they're practicing or working and progressing, is that if you're setting up your own goals and stuff, you're setting up goals that you want, And if you're working towards them and you're practicing them and you're getting closer to them, these goals and stuff are, things that you're setting up for yourself because they are what you want and what you see as, being enjoyable or wanting to have and whatnot. So, I don't know how best to explain it, because it's kind of not really an oxymoron or an irony thing. It's just it's you have the goal because you know what you want and you know what you're working towards, and it's a goal you've made progress through. So, it's weird to say it's you don't like it or don't like it even more when people forget that they've already made some progress towards the goal that they want, and because they don't have the full thing yet, they have part of it. It's like looking at the glass half empty instead of half full. Don't forget to look what's already in there, because you're putting what you want in the cup. Don't forget that. It's not just because you have that progress. It's not just because you have that stuff in your cup. The stuff in your cup is the stuff you want. The progress is the stuff that you want. It is your goal. It may not be your full goal yet, but it is a fragment that you've worked for. So don't look at the full glass. Don't look what's missing to make it full. Look at what's making it, even partially full. Because you could have nothing in there. And if you've been working even slightly, you have something in there. And if you want something more in there, keep working. Keep doing your best. Now, I will have to say this again and again, because some people forget about this or have never thought about it this way. Always keep working on filling the cup. This is why I say you must enjoy the process and enjoy your progress. This is one thing that will make you want to do that more if you're still not convinced. You can always overfill your cup. But your perfect goals, dreams, role models, and stuff like that you're looking at from a distance, they're always one full glass. Sure, you might be giving them a bigger glass along the way, and that's called goalpost moving. But at the end of the day, they are still a glass that can only be full and never overflowing, because they might be making themselves a bigger glass, but your visions of them or your visions of your goal will only ever fill that glass to completion. It will never overfill it, because you don't know what more they can become. Obviously, if they keep pursuing their own goals and hobbies and endeavors and skills and whatnot, they might even change it up. We've all had those, actors, artists, comedians, singers, or whatnot, just be like, oh, they're our favorite, oh, they're perfect. And then 2 years later, they've made progress and they think they're better, they're doing it, they're enjoying it more, and you're like, I don't like their music anymore, it's not for me, or it kind of died off, or, oh, I don't like the new lyrics they're doing. It's like, you're filling a cup that you're comparing them to with your own interpretation of them and them as a goal and what it means to you. They aren't filling that cup for you. You fill that cup with your visions of them from your own head. Which is why I'm saying you can never possibly overfill that cup. If you have these perfect goals and whatnot, they are perfect. And what is perfect? What is a perfectly full cup? A cup that doesn't overfill itself. A cup that doesn't overflow itself. And you know what? If there's one thing you should learn in life, is that perfection is bullshit. Perfection is limited. Perfection is an end, not a continuation, not a progression, and definitely, not something you should really strive for. Because I find more beauty in those that are yet to be complete and those that go beyond completion. An overflowing cup will always be more beautiful than a completely full cup. A half-filled glass, if you think about it, especially with a nice glass, looks a lot better when it's not full, Strawberry milk too, yeah. Small goals help a lot too, yeah. You can have miniature goals along the way, and I think that's very important. It gets into a bit of a different field, but it is part of building a realistic goal and a realistic outcome. Because when you build realistic and concrete goals and whatnot, those little milestones motivate you along the way. Depending on what you're doing, it can be a bit hard to recognize what those are or define what those are. So not all big goals might have small goals in between. But whether they don't or not, just remember, you want to set up a goal that can always be exceeded. You don't want, like, for me, any perfect goal is just completely imaginary because there's no such thing as perfection. And when we do create perfection or have perfection or an example of perfection, it is always a finished project. It is always a end. It is always a resolution. It is never a continuation. So, the beauty behind that is, especially like with art's a big one for this, but anything is relevant, is you always are going to get better. You can always get better. Anyone can always get better. So, a slight counter argument, goalpost moving is, while it does piss us off sometimes depending on what it's in regards to, when it's in regards to skills and whatnot, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means there's more of a glass to fill. And what I mean is, when we're filling our own glass with progress, it's okay if our glass gets bigger, because that means we found more room to put stuff in. It's because our goal is becoming bigger, not getting further away from us. We know how to shape it better. We know what more to, create for it. We know what to fill it with. We're understanding ourselves and our goals and our stuff better, something like that. But here's when goalpost moving is bad. Goalpost moving can have a very detrimental effect if you're just staring at the goalpost. If you're just staring at the goalpost, then you're only staring at what you could do more of, what you could see more of, and you're ignoring what's being added to the cup, and it's like your vision of yourself gets smaller, in a sense, because you don't know how much progress you have in a bigger container. You don't know what your percentage is anymore. And the problem is, if you think about it, if your glass expanding, if your goalpost moving is moving faster than your progress, it can be a little bit maybe dismotivating depending on what you're doing. But from a technical point of view, having a bigger container is like having a bigger storage in a video game. It's a good thing. Most of the time, it's a pretty good thing. There's some technical things, like if it's a price of something that's always going up, then that's kind of, that's very concrete and just kind of like applicable to something outside of like mental stuff. I'm just talking about psychological stuff and whatnot. But here's why that becomes an issue from like, I guess like a confidence point of view, is because the goalpost is moving, our glass is expanding, and for a lot of us with low confidence, we're ignoring the progress that's even coming in the first place. If you're not even acknowledging what progress you have made, or you have only, or you've not even acknowledged any of your progress, you're only looking at the goalpost moving. You're only looking at what you coulda, shoulda, woulda done, did, whatever, becoming more of a shoulda, woulda, coulda, instead of your own progress. This happens a lot because some people who are amazing at one thing looks at somebody doing well and just like, oh, they're doing well, which means I can't do well. Or, they see them make like a technical progression and they're trying to apply that to their own rate, and it's just like, no, that's their progress, leave it alone. Not, you know what I mean. Another way to think about what I'm trying to say is, if you constantly just look at your goalpost moving or your container expanding, whatever, I like that analogy, forgive me. You're looking at a percentage instead of a raw value. Let's do this, for example. Let's say instead of a liquid, we're filling, our progress is a powder, and we're measuring it in grams. Thank you for the head pats, Lily. If we're looking at it as a percentage, then as we increase the container, let's say the container weighs nothing though, forgive me, because we always zero out our containers, right? The container gets bigger, and whether you acknowledge some of your progress so far or none of it at all, then as the container expands, whatever is in there makes up a smaller percentage of that container. Therefore, you feel like you have less. When in fact, the scale isn't changing. The container might be getting bigger, but you still have like 90 grams of progress. So, the problem is, you might have half a container full, and if the container is expanding, you might have a third of a container, a fourth of a container. And psychologically, we might take that the wrong way when, once again, we're looking at the glass being more empty than it is full. We're focusing on the lack rather than what's present. It's a double compounding effect because of what I said before that. When you're ignoring your own progress coming in at the same time, this makes it even worse. Because even if you're making progress at a slower rate than your scope, your goal, the container is expanding, look at the scale. The scale is still going up, is my point. You have to focus on your program or your progress. You have to enjoy that progress. And here's why. You might be asking me, why are you making this such a long-winded, bullshitty explanation? It's because the brain does this to you. The brain tricks you all the time. You might not know it, and you might think I'm doing it's too much of an explanation. It's like, hear me out. How many times have you convinced yourself that you couldn't when you obviously could? What I'm saying is an example of how your brain's probably tricking you and you've probably never paid attention to it. Is like, I have to explain percentage, shrinking, growing, the amount of progress, the slower rates. I have to make it sound very dry and technical because your brain is going to do this to you one way or another. It's going to convince, oh, I'm not growing as fast as them when you're already growing then faster than the average population. You start looking at the container of what you could be, and because that container is not being filled at a faster rate than you are filling it, therefore you're being critical for no reason. You're focusing on the container being full. Regardless if the container grows or not, you're still focusing on the container being full and not filling it. The fulfillment. That's a bad pun. Anyways, find fulfillment through your progress and process. And stop focusing on the glass being completely full. Overfill it instead. And if the container expands, take it as a challenge. Because that just means you found more stuff to fill it with. Stuff that you want to fill it with. May I remind you, you're filling it with your efforts, your progress of something that you want and are working for. You know? How are you doing though, Lily? Yeah, I'm kind of we've been having a silly conversation about, I guess, how I see and how I perceive and how I would give advice for somebody like myself when struggling with low confidence levels and whatnot. Because I know I'm making it sound weird, but no, my brain bullshits me, and it's taken me years to see this. Like some of the stuff I do better on. Some of the stuff I still find myself doing, but it's like I've been like thinking and like processing and like challenging my thought and like doing this problem solving like off and on for like the past couple of years. I'm doing good. Thank you. Just gonna get my butt to work today. Have a good day at work. Enjoy that work day. Get Monday out the door and have a successful day. And relax afterwards and whatnot, and be good to yourself too. So, I need to, like, I feel like I explained that one aspect as much as possible, so I can move on to another aspect now. But I wanted to say, I'll give one example, because I know a lot of streamers do this. They start looking at their viewership, and it's just like, oh, I don't have enough numbers these days, and stuff like that. But it's like, if you start ignoring like the numbers coming in, you start focusing on like pretend like the numbers is the container. It's like, okay, you have this many viewers, but like what is in that viewers? And for some, they're still not at the point of like recognizing like the progress inside and realizing that most of the time, depending on their like their closeness or their interactions with their like users and whatnot, is the fact that most of the time their container is being overfilled. They have what they want, but they have to open their eyes to see it, appreciate it, and cherish it. But you can tell a lot of streamers might be more goal oriented instead of like process oriented. If they continue to complain when their numbers are growing and their audience is talking more and they're doing more things. So, we might say that's a bad thing. And while it is, it doesn't necessarily make them bad people. It's just people that need help with awareness. If they're already aware of that and they don't really care about like the viewer stuff like that and whatnot, they just want the number and the stuff like that, then that is the bad thing. But hey, everybody is welcome to do what they want to do and go for what they want to do. I don't criticize. It's just that's where it becomes an opinion. That's where it becomes an opinion. I just wanted to give a slight reference to how this can be applied to something like that. But I guess with the voice acting, you can always like see there's an infinite amount of possibilities. That is one that has a good like container expanding aspect to it. Because you can always like learn new voices, you can always practice new voices, new accents, new styles of talking. And I feel like progress with voice acting is pretty clear to see if you like just take the time to like practice and evaluate what you're doing and how it sounds and like get feedback and stuff like that. But yeah, I felt like there's another I feel like I missed the entire point of why we're doing this to begin with today. Hopefully you had like a nice little weird introspective to like my mind and how I think about confidence sometime. Is just don't focus on the goalpost. If you have a goal, that's great. Work towards it. Even if it's like not realistic, definitely just don't have a negative bias. Because, okay, we do have to explain this one point. Because this is where it ties into people with low confidence. Is there's an extra layer at play. If somebody was like me, is like made it through my explanation, is like, yeah, but I'm still having problems. Is like, here's one more layer I could give. It's a bit of a stretch, but I say it because I know I've dealt with it myself. Is when you have lower confidence, I used this word earlier, you might over glorify your goal or role model. You might, in bias or in sheer negativity of yourself, exaggerate or over credit your like goal or role model or stuff like that. Thank you for the head pats and hydrate. I'll get the hydrate for you. Thank you for the head pat though. Do not push like your your goals and like if they're not concrete is basically what I'm saying. or if they like are like a role model and whatnot, don't give them more value than what they're worth. Even if you like them, stuff like that, and aspire to be them, that's great and all. But don't think of them as like superhuman or like unobtainable and things like that, because that's when your goal becomes less concrete. Is because when you're biased into giving them more credit than they should technically be given, and I'm saying that from a technical point of view. Now, I'm not saying you can like them less or like them more or anything like that. It's just when you start giving them more credit than they need, and it is your goalpost, you're pushing the goalpost past the goal. You know, your goalpost is going past the goal. And it's just like, don't do that. If you push the goalpost out of bounds, it becomes inherently intangible. We're trying to establish concrete goals that are obtainable. Sometimes standing at the goal is nice too. Yes, Mythos, thank God damn you understand this perfectly, don't you? That is literally the perfect comment to respond for someone that like either like fully understands it or just, it's like, it's okay to stand at your goal. It's okay to achieve a goal. It's fine to want more afterwards, but don't push the post past it, because I know as humans you always want more, but sometimes you fail to realize that you've even passed the goal at some point. Or, in moving some goal points or posts, you're not giving yourself credit. I know I'm bad at that one, trust me, but hey, people with low confidence are. And listen to this one. Listen to this one. You're obtaining a previously set goal. You did it. You achieved it. You made progress. Now, the problem is, for some people saying, well, no, that's never happened. I never achieved the goal. I've still yet to hit the one that I established in the first place. Is it a concrete one? Is it a real one? Is it realistic? Is it actually obtainable? Or is your goal still, I want to be the perfect thing. I want to do the perfect thing. I want the perfect thing. And just like, yeah, that's why you've probably not hit a goal, I encourage anybody that does have like one of those goalposts out there that's like just a perfect unobtainable thing, is try giving yourself a realistic goal for the first time in your life. And it can be as big or small as you want, but it better be concrete. Work for it, and when you achieve it, you achieved it. Celebrate. Because now you can't say that you haven't made progress. You have proven that you can make progress. It's as easy as that. Don't forget to give yourself credit as well for the progress you have. I've been talking a lot more about like cherishing it and appreciating it and focusing on it, but I did forget to say, do enjoy it, cherish it, and be thankful for it. Because for some people, they might not be able to make the same progress. For some people, they might not be able to make that progress at all. But it really depends for that person whether that is important to them at the end of the day. That's for them to decide, not for you to decide. You have to decide your own importance on your own progress and how much you like appreciate and stuff like that. But yeah, don't be afraid to stand at like an old goal or even the current goal. Because if you're moving the goalpost, you best be looking at where it moved from. And if you're past where it moved from, you have made progress. And you cannot bullshit me that. You have made fucking progress. You did well. You've done a good job. And you're doing a good job. Keep it up. Keep your head on straight. Put your head high on your shoulders. Walk forward. Smile. You're doing your best right now. And it might not seem like it. And you might feel like you're totally blind at some point. I just encourage you to look behind yourself sometimes. See where that old goalpost might have been. And then ask yourself, how often have you been saying that you've made no progress at all? There was a goal back there, wasn't there? You've made some progress, haven't you? So give yourself a pat on the back. It's that simple. It's that simple. I know I make it sound simple, and trust me, it can be hard to swallow sometimes, but sometimes you just have to open up your eyes. Because we get blinded. We get blinded by our goals. We get blinded by what we want. So, it's hard not to do that sometimes. I know we're humans. We're greedy. We got to take the time to learn to appreciate the things that we have. For real, for real, for real. So the other aspect that I was saying is, with low confidence, don't have a negative bias and put your own self down. Don't move your starting point further back than it already is. If you're going to go to work, drive to work. Don't drive an hour south and then go north for 2 hours to get to your job. That don't make sense, right? So don't do that to your own, your goals, activities, hobbies, progress. You don't do that. You probably don't do that. But, sometimes you'll give yourself a reason. It's I can't do it today because of this. I can't do it today because of that. Oh, I'm not this or I'm not that. So therefore, stop. We all start somewhere. We can't, pick our starting points. But we can always take a step forward. And if you're jealous of somebody that starts 10 steps in front of you, take 10 steps forward. If you're jealous of somebody that takes 100 steps forward of you, then walk 100 steps. It's I don't want to walk. Do you really? Because then why are you jealous of it then? Walk forward if you want it. At the end of the day, that's all you have to do. You have to make a little bit of time to make a little bit of effort, and progress is progress. But yeah, it can be hard because the other thing to watch out for is having a negative bias at looking at your progress. If you're looking at your progress as being less than it already is, or worse, if you're really far gone, try not to do this, but it can happen. It's very rare, but try not to. Don't give you a reason to think that you're making negative progress. Never think that you're reverting, because that's bullshit. Trust me. It is bullshit. There's no way to unlearn something. As much as we want to convince ourselves, it don't happen. The brain's not that stupid. We might forget, but our body remembers. The body remembers. Somewhere in the brain, that memory's there. Even if we forget it, our body knows it's there, and our body knows how to act on it. So, no. Nobody probably needs to do that, but definitely don't go on doing that. Please don't say you're making negative progress. I say this because, once again, as somebody with low confidence, I've done that before in my life, and it will fuck you up. Because you'll start playing mind games with yourself, saying, oh, I made negative progress today, therefore tomorrow I need to work twice as hard to catch up just to make progress for that. It's that's a sign of toxic behavior. That is a sign of somebody that needs help. And if you find yourself doing that, you can help yourself. Just recognize it and, take a deep breath and take a look back and see all the progress you've made. That'll tell you everything. Sultan, thank you so much for the follow and welcome on into the channel. How are you doing? Right behind you, welcome on in, Rust. Republic, week. How are you doing, you two? My name is Moetsuki. I'm the fox on the screen and the ASMRs of the night. We're doing a comfy Sunday ASMR where sometimes we just talk about silly things, sometimes we talk about comfy things, sometimes we even just like do pillow talk and stuff like that. Or sometimes, I've not been doing a lot of whispering tonight, but yeah, sometimes we do that as well. It just depends. Tonight has been more of a talk ASMR instead of just, I guess I got into like the psychological aspects a lot and just started doing like a psychotherapy session with an ASMR voice. The first time I'd done that before, but hey, I like to go off on tangents, but yeah. It's nice, it's nice, it's nice. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. Amai-san, Dolce-san, how are you doing? It's good to see you again. Good evening, good evening. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a happy mood. I don't know why I'm so happy or like hyperactive. Is like I finally got through like an explanation that I was doing. It was really it was just like a nonsensical tangent, but hey, uh, it was awesome. It was fun and wow. I'm surprised I talked about like literally nothing for like 3 hours straight. Guys, you remember when I said I don't think we'll even make it to 200 sheep? We didn't even make it to like 100 sheep, and we're already past 3 hours. It's getting time to where we're gonna have to like, kind of wrap up and stuff for the night. Let me make sure we don't have an ad coming up real quickly, because we can talk for just a little bit longer. And I do want to at least get to 100 sheep, so we'll do a bit of counting, and then we'll wrap up stream. We'll find somebody to raid, another ASM artist, probably, or something like that. So, until we get there and whatnot, yeah. Sip, 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 yep. I'm glad to hear you're doing good, you too. It's good to see you again. Get me a little bit of water. So yeah, thank you for that like long-winded explanation. That's maybe not like the explanation that would be given at like a TED Talk or something, but that's just the explanation that my brain does to itself for it to like, reevaluate, rethink, and just keep my head straight too. I do that, I guess, a little bit for myself, but like for anybody that might be thinking the same way. Just one of those things that I do. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with me tonight, guys. Let's get to 40 more sheep, and I'll let you go. Because I gotta put people back to sleep. Some people might have like stopped sleeping and started focusing on the conversation. It's like, that went against the entire reason of a comfy ASMR thing. So, here we go. 61 sheep. 62 sheep. 63 sheep. 64 sheep. 65 sheep. 66 sheep. 67 sheep. 68 sheep. I cleaned my throat, give me a second. 69 sheep. Nice number. 70 sheep. 71 sheep. 72 sheep. 73 sheep. 74 sheep. 75 sheep. 76 sheep. 77 sheep. 78 sheep. 79 sheep. 80 sheep. 81 sheep. 82 sheep. 83 sheep. 84 sheep. Hey, go back to sleep. Don't get excited just because we're getting near 100. 85 sheep. 86 sheep. 87 sheep. 88 sheep. 89 sheep. 90 sheep. 91 sheep. 92 sheep. 93 sheep. 94 sheep. 95 sheep. 96 sheep. 97 sheep. 98 sheep. 99 sheep. 100 adorable little fluffs. Each and every one of you. May some of you have found sweet sleep. May some of you remember to turn off your desk lamps if you wake up during the night tonight. But I do hope each and every one of you has a wonderful sleep and a wonderful rest and stuff like that. I believe that is the end of our stuff for the night. I will find somebody to raid and whatnot before we get out of here. Maybe even see if there's another cute little fluff doing ASMR tonight. That fox that we found the last time was absolutely adorable. So, there's even a chance that we might find another one tonight. I'll have to see. Let me check that real quickly. Wakisuki-san. Oh, English. Welcome on in. How are you doing? Yep, the tail end of it. You know, this big fluffy tail end of mine. Yeah, we got done with a lot of like comfy ASMR Sundays to wind down for the night. A comfy weekend before the start of the work week. And we finished off by counting to like 100 sheep and whatnot. But yeah, it's alright. You know, if you like ASMR and whatnot, Suki-san. Tomorrow night, I'm actually going to be doing it again. We started off by like doing ASMR like once a week for a little while. But we're actually going to be moving it to 2 a week now. We do a Sunday special right before the work week. I help everybody just like wind down and whatnot and rest well. And then Monday after the Monday, you know, Monday being the hardest day of the work week, the start of the work week, the start of the grind, I'm going to try to do like a comfy positive reaffirmation one, you know, kind of like a pat on the back, if you will, for all of you working hard and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just say I do this every Sunday, and apparently Monday too, about 9 o'clock and whatnot. So yeah, it sucks to catch the end, but at the same time, hey, it's good to catch you. It's good to catch you at all, because guess what? I will be back. I will definitely be back. You have a lovely voice. I hope to catch the next one. Aww. Thank you so much. Means a lot to me, yeah. Like, I'm always like scared, because like for the first half hour of these ASMR streams, like I think I know what I need to do. I think for the first 30 minutes, I just need to practice ASMR, like a fake stream, because like my voice really warms up after the first 30 minutes or so. But it's like, oh, it's so rough when it starts off the stream. But right by the end of the stream, my voice is just like, it's like really good and stuff like that. But yeah, you just have to get in gear. But hey, Godzilla, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. How are you doing? How was everybody's weekends, by the way? How's everybody's weekends doing? Welcome on in. It's good to see you. For all those coming in at the tail and stuff like that, I'll read it one more time. I am Lily Moetsuki. I am the fox on the screen. And tonight has been our Sunday ASMR Comfy Time special, as we get ready for some sweet dreams and some nice sleep before Monday. God, Monday. Manic Monday. Guys, hang in there. Do your best. Hang on tight. You'll get through it. You'll do your best. And you'll make it out. And tomorrow night, I'll congratulate you. I give you a pat on the back for all your hard work and whatnot. And we'll do some more comfy, positive reaffirmation time. And I promise you, no more tangents on like confidence stuff. Like, it was fun to do for now, but it's like, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, okay, no more TED Talks for a while. But yeah, that was fun, that was fun. That was fun. Welcome on in, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yep. So let me see. Let me go find this. Oh, Violet's actually on again. I can't remember. Did we raid her? No, she found us first. And then we raided her again. That's right, that's right, that's right. So, let me see. Fastest hands. I'm not gonna lie. This, Nene Amano. I can't tell if they're English or Japanese, but, I feel like their model looks really familiar. So I might take a look at them real quickly. Oh no, they're ending. Let me see. Who is this Monaco Momosan? And we'll go from there and whatnot. Oh, they're doing some sort of like interesting thing. They even got like a menu, which is neat. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before, so I might just read them as well as one. They have nice ears. They have nice ears, but also a little bit of research and stuff like that. So let's see, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk and whatnot and stuff like that. And we'll be back again tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing more ASMR, Coffee ASMR, where I congratulate you on getting through a hard work week and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm gonna kick up the raid. I'm gonna head on over to the other screen and one last click at the bell. I like these things too much. So, night, night, night. Oyasumi nasai. Buenos noches. Sweet dreams. And I'll see you later. Night, night. Take it easy. And I will see you later. Take it easy. Night, night. Night, night. I love you guys. Take it easy.